I'm sure your dog loves you, but did you know there are some things you can do that will make your dog love you even more? And some of these are actually quite small things, but small things can make a big, big difference. So if you want to improve your relationship with your dog, I've got 7 tips that I'm about to share with you. I'm Zazie Todd, PhD. I'm an animal behaviour expert. I'm the award-winning author of several books about dogs and cats, and I'm an honours graduate of the prestigious Academy for Dog Trainers. And I've got these 7 tips, so let's get started. Number 1. Always help your dog to feel safe. Safety is really important for dogs, and in order to be able to help them feel safe, actually we have to be paying close attention to their body language all of the time. And this is something that we can learn, so it's worth always watching your dog, seeing if they seem to be happy, and if they're not happy, ask yourself the question, are they perhaps a bit fearful, anxious, or stressed? Because if they are, you should step in and do something about it. And if you know your dog happens to be fearful, anxious, or stressed in certain circumstances, you can develop a plan either to work on that with a trainer or just to step in and do something about it. For example, suppose your dog doesn't like meeting strangers, but someone is marching towards you saying, "Oh, I love dogs. Your dog is so cute. I really want to meet them. Can I pet them?" You just have to say, "No, I'm sorry, but my dog wouldn't actually like that." Or, "I'm sorry, but not today," because maybe sometimes your dog is okay, but this particular day or this particular person, they're looking a bit stressed. And actually, there are lots of different things that you can do to help your dog feel safe, but really most of it is protecting them from things that they are afraid of and taking the time to learn to read dog body language. So some of the signs that you would be looking for are actually quite subtle, because it might simply be the dog licking their lips when they're not about to get a treat, or it could be that they look away, or their posture could be low, their tail might be tucked. That's a really common one that people actually are quite good at spotting. But it's all of the dog's body language signals that you need to be paying attention to make sure that you know if your dog is happy or if they're fearful, anxious, or stressed. So always help your dog to feel safe. That's one of the most important things that you can do as your dog's guardian. And in fact, it's kind of your job. You're an attachment figure for your dog. You're a secure base from which they can go off and explore, and a safe haven for them to return to if they feel stressed. So helping your dog always feel safe is really important and will help improve your relationship. Number 2 is to give your dog choices. Now, we control a lot of things in our dogs' lives. And if you think about old-fashioned, outdated dog training ideas, they used to be that our dogs should just do as we tell them. But actually, it turns out that it's really good for dogs to have choices and some control over their things in their lives whenever possible. Of course, it's not always possible. But for example, if you want to pet your dog, you can give them a choice in that. Do they want to be petted in this moment or not? And we can do something called a consent test. So if you're petting your dog, you can pet them a little bit and then you can just stop and wait and see what they do. And if they want more petting, probably they will lean into you. They will make it really obvious that they want more petting. And if they don't do anything, or if they get up and walk off, then that's telling you that actually in this moment they didn't want to be petted. And that's something that we should respect. Another way to give them choice when petting them is to make sure you don't actually hug them, because many dogs don't like to be hugged and it doesn't give them the opportunity to walk away. So make sure that they always have that opportunity to walk away. Other choices you can give them are to take part in training with you or not. It's kind of your job to pick really good treats that are going to motivate them to take part. You can sometimes let them decide which way to go on a walk, or if you have several toys, you can give them a choice of toys to play with and things like that. And of course, there are times when we can't give them choices. So this is just about those times when we can give them those chances, because, I mean, choice is good for us. It turns out it's good for dogs as well. The third thing you can do is engage in fun activities with your dog. And there's a whole range of activities that you can take part in. So one of my favourite ones is the sniffari, or smell walk, which means that you give your dog the chance to follow their nose as much as they like, so long as it's safe to do so. So instead of the walk being about getting from A to B, especially getting from A to B in a certain time, actually you just let their dog sniff to their heart's content. And it's really good for them, because Scent is like the main way that dogs experience the world. So having those chances to sniff is really good. Instead of us tugging them away and saying, get a move on, just let them sniff. And that's a sniffari, and it's really good for them. Other joint activities that you could do, well, there are lots and lots of different dog training classes that you can do, like tricks classes or scent work classes or rally obedience, or there's all kinds of things. So you could see what that is locally in the area near you that's being run by a positive reinforcement trainer, or you could look online for classes as well. And that's especially a good idea if your dog is maybe a bit more reactive or fearful or anxious, because then you could take the class from the comfort of your own home. You don't have to leave your living room. Your dog doesn't have to go somewhere where they might get nervous, but you can still do a class with them and teach them tricks, for example. And that's a really fun thing to do too. And another example would be food puzzle toys. And these can be so much fun for your dog. And there's so many available that you can buy from the pet store, but also you can very easily make your own if you want to. And a snuffle mat would be one example of those. So that's like a little rug with long tufts sticking out, and it's designed that you can put little treats in the mat, and the dog has to kind of sniff them out. So that's another fun activity to do with your dog, and I'm sure it also will increase your feelings for your dog, because it can be so cute seeing dogs do these things. Number 4 would be just spend time together. So you don't necessarily always have to be doing activities with your dog. Activities are great. They're a really good way for you to help improve the human-animal relationship, but it's also important just to spend time together. And that might simply be snuggling together on the sofa while you watch your favorite TV show, or it might be taking your dog with you when you do some errands. So maybe if it's safe, your dog can come with you in the car, so long as it's not too hot for them to stay in the car on their own. Or if you're just going to visit a friend and you happen to know that the dog will like the friend and the friend is okay with you taking the dog over, just take the dog. Or if you're working from home, maybe your dog can just relax under your desk while you work. So just spending that time together is also really important. Dogs like to be around us. They love to be near you. So just giving them as many opportunities as you can for them to spend time hanging out with you is also really good for them and really good for your relationship. Number 5, get some exercise together. So I think a lot of us have this idea that we should be taking our dog for walks, and that's really great. So more walks, basically. Take your dog on hikes with you. Find places where your dog will like to go. And obviously this is easier if your dog is a friendly, confident, relaxed kind of dog. And also if your neighborhood is the kind of place where there are like lots of nice parks and so on to walk your dog. But we can always find somewhere where we can take our dog for a walk. And if your dog is more of the reactive type, then maybe find times of day to walk when it's going to be quiet. So early morning or late at night might work. Or sometimes you can hire a place, like you can hire a tennis court or someone's garden or a farmer's field or something, where you can actually let your dog run around safely on their own and not be bothered by other dogs if they don't like other dogs. So there are different ways in which you can do this, but basically get some exercise together. It's good for you, it's good for your dog, and again, it's good for your relationship with your dog. Number 6, choose nice food and use tasty training treats. So training is a really good activity to do with your dog, using positive reinforcement to teach your dog new behaviours. It's cognitive enrichment for your dog because it uses your dog's brain. Basically, they have to work out what to do. And also it's kind of food enrichment as well, because we use nice training treats. So depends a bit on what you're training and a bit on the size of your dog, but maybe something about the size of a pea for each of your training treats. And when you're teaching your dog, you want to aim to set it up that you're working gradually at a pace where your dog is actually going to be earning lots and lots of treats, because that keeps them motivated. It makes it really fun for the dog. So most of the time they want to be able to earn those treats, and you can just make the training really gradual. So a common mistake is that people try to go too fast and then they get frustrated because the dog isn't doing what they asked, and the dog gets frustrated because they're not earning the treat. So follow a training plan. There are lots on YouTube, online, in books and so on. Make sure you take it slowly, work at your dog's pace, give them lots of opportunities to earn those treats. And suppose your dog already knows like the basic things that you want them to know. They know sit, they'll come when they're called and so on. Teach them tricks. Tricks are a really great, fun thing that you can teach your dog. And even if you have an older dog, older dogs need enrichment too. This is a fun activity for older dogs as well. And it's just another fun activity for the two of you to do together. Number 7, vary your dog's activities and toys from time to time, because most dogs like routine, but they also can get a bit bored. So this will depend a little bit on your dog. If your dog is more towards that reactive, anxious, fearful side, then they probably will tend more towards wanting a routine. But we know that dogs can get bored over time, for example, with the toys that you give them. So change the toys that you give them from time to time. Who doesn't want an excuse to buy a new toy for their dog or make a new toy for their dog? But the thing is, this doesn't have to be expensive. You don't have to keep buying new toys for your dog, because it turns out that if you put the toys away for a week or two and then bring them out again after a break, those toys seem to be new again. Also, if your toy is machine washable, you can put it in the washing machine and it will come out smelling different, and that can make it seem new again too. So dogs like to have new toys, but luckily we can make the old toys seem new just by putting them away for a bit or changing them in some way by washing them or whatever. So varying the dog's toys from time to time is another way to help keep them interested. So those are 7 things you can do, all of which are good for your relationship with your dog and which will help your dog to love you even more than they already do. So I hope you have fun doing these activities. And if you want to know more about how to have a happy dog, I'm going to put a link in the comments to my checklist for a happy dog, which you can get. It's from the back of my book, WAG, The Science of Making Your Dog Happy. And it has lots of things to help you make your dog even happier. Have fun.